Welcome to episode 92 of Cougars on Cougars. This is Jess. I'm Mary, and we are pretty much exclusively into basketball now, so we're happy about that.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's start with our notable quotable, which on brand is a basketball quote.
This comes from Rick Majerus. He says, "Those to whom defense is not important will have the best seat in the game," meaning on the bench. Which I feel like that's kind of how BYU's approached the defensive philosophy this year, which makes me very happy.
We will go right into coaching from the couch, which we have for basketball. We're just kind of do a mashup between the UVU and the Utah State games, both of which were wins. Mm-hmm. Very exciting. BYU just creamed UVU 85-58.
It was so fun to watch.
Wasn't that amazing?
It was great.
It was pretty much the direct opposite in every way from last year's game.
The beginning was a little slow. Had me a little bit worried.
Yeah.
And then 5-10 minutes in, it was just a clinic. It was great.
It was a clinic on both sides of the ball. And then USU, BYU won 75-66. So
solid win.
That one was a little closer. Was a little more nervous, but at the same time was pretty much good. And you'll notice both of those are those low-scoring games. I think we're noticing quite the trend this season, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll take it because that means you're holding teams to low scores.
Yeah, no, and we're definitely going to get into that in our what went right. But let's start with our what went wrong, Coach Tyler. What do you take from those two games that could have gone better?
I think one of the things that's tough is that we get into these scoring droughts, and you always see it up on the screen. You know, it's been 3 minutes, 50 seconds since our last score or whatever. It gets up there, and usually you'll see it multiple times in the game where we have a few minutes where we just don't score. And a lot of times it's because we're just not getting good shots. We're not moving the ball around, or we're throwing up a three when maybe shouldn't, that we need to just be better about, if the threes aren't falling, finding a different shot instead of repeatedly shooting those threes, which I think happened against Utah State in the first half. We were 0 from 10 from three in the first half, which was not good because we weren't getting good looks or they weren't going down. So I think sometimes you just need to get to the basket, get an easy bucket. And end those droughts.
It's so funny. That was exactly my what went wrong last week. So we're noticing a recurring issue here.
Right.
And to go along with that, I just think that the UVU and USU games were perfect, like, mirror images of what can go right when our offense is gelling and, like, the points we're capable of scoring. And then the USU game is what it is when scoring is not easy to come by. I mean, we shot 46% from three at the UVU game. We were 5 for 18 from three in the Utah State game.
And all 5 were in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're shooting 0%.
Because, like you said, 0 for 10. So that actually is my what went wrong, is that bad shooting from three. And I don't mind so much that a low percentage of our points or whatever are coming from the 3-point range. I'm fine with that. But I think it just goes along with what you're saying. It's just bad shooting. That's our what went wrong. Is it's funny, they are both the same, so I think that you can easily tell where the weaknesses of these teams are, but the important thing is that we're overcoming it, and I think that kind of goes along with both of our what went rights.
Overcoming it with defense, I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, amen.
That's new.
Okay. So yeah, what went right for you, Coach Tyler?
All right, the thing that's getting the big hard eyes for me this week is 24 of 28 from the line against Utah State on the road, hostile environment. That game was slow. There were a ton of foul calls.
Oh my goodness, 49.
Yeah, which slows the game down, and it can be frustrating, all of that. But what you have to do to win a game like that is make your free throws. And we did it. 24 of 28. That was beautiful.
And that has not traditionally been one of our what went right things, so it is wonderful to say that. Mine is what we keep alluding to over and over again. Defense travels. Oh my goodness, I'm in love with this defense. We are 3-0 in true away games, and there is only one way you can accomplish that. Well, I suppose you could accomplish it if you go into other people's gyms and shoot the lights out.
Sure.
But you can't bank on that. What can you bank on?
Defense travels. I heard Yoli say that again post-game, too.
Oh, I hope he says it every game.
Yoli this week. Yeah, so it's really nice to hear that, and it's really good for them to see that when they're, like, beginning of Utah State game, they're struggling, they locked in on defense, and they were able to get a lead going into halftime, which even though they were shooting really poorly.
It was unbelievable. If you looked at their shooting stats, you never would have guessed that they were winning, and they were, because defense travels, and I hope we keep hearing it from someone different every week. Defense travels. Agreed. I hope we can keep up the same, defense at our home games as well, but that's pretty awesome. And I did want to show this tweet from Greg Wrubell. He said that this was about the UVU game. They scored 60 points in the first half last year in Provo, and then this year they scored 58 total. Talk about direct opposites.
So much better.
Another really interesting stat there is that BYU is 83-0 when they hold opponents to under 60 points, which I'm not surprised by that stat at all.
Because we're traditionally good at scoring, but
right.
that's an incredible stat. 0.
Yeah.
They've never lost when they hold opponents under 60.
And I think, you know, some stats mean more than others, and to me, that's one where you can show up and say 100% of the time, your defense is going to work if you can hold them to less than 60. So I liked that. 2 big games coming up this week. Another in-state matchup on Saturday, and then Illinois State in town Wednesday. So
should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Excited to be home again. It's been quite a few away games in a row. All right, we're going to do a Keeping Up with the Cougars segment and talk about our former Cougars in the NFL.
We don't want to talk about our current Cougars, but we do want to talk about our former
Cougars. True. And it was a big week, especially for 2 of our favorites. So Jamaal Williams playing with the Green Bay Packers, getting the start now, and he had 21 carries, 113 yards, and 1 touchdown. And that touchdown, he was like dragging fools to the end zone.
He was.
It was great.
Yeah, that was hard fought. He had 123 yards total, so he had 10 yards receiving. But that is a very, very solid game from Jay Swag Daddy. Another thing we loved is that after that game where he had that big game, guess what he was wearing? A BYU pullover. And I just love that. He's still repping the white. Yeah.
It's fantastic. And then the other super exciting thing this week was Taysom Hill all over the place because he got to play some special teams for the Saints.
His first playing time of the year.
Yeah, so he's their 3rd string quarterback right now.
Yep.
And if you didn't know, it's pretty rare to have a quarterback in playing special teams and
very
making
rare.
Tackles.
Very rare.
So he had, what was it, like 3 tackles or something?
I think he had 2 tackles.
2 tackles.
2 total tackles. Both of them were solo. And he had that one instance where he scared the punter. He literally scared the punter so bad that the punter didn't punt, and he ended up throwing an incomplete pass, giving the Saints great field position. But
he's like so
amazing.
Big and fast. I would be scared too.
Yeah, and everyone was talking about just how fast he got down the field, and everyone was amazed. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. SB Nation wrote an article about him. So
for sure, yeah, he was all over my timeline on Twitter. The New Orleans Saints tweeted out, "Game ball for Saints quarterback / special teams ace Taysom Hill." Hashtag famous among friends, which I think is hilarious. So that's Taysom and Drew Brees, and I don't know the other guy because I don't.
Yeah, sorry. We're Saints fans now, but we're still working on it. Okay.
Oh, and everybody loves Taysom. You can just tell everybody on that team. Speaking of that, this was all over the place too. If you missed it, Sean Payton, the head coach, was all smiles after Taysom came off the field. Jeff Berger tweeted out, "I want someone to think about me and smile like Sean Payton does when he thinks about Taysom Hill."
So good.
Which it was
that
perfect
smile,
face.
it's just like so genuine. And what that smile says to me is kind of like Sean Payton knew that he had this secret up his sleeve and he had just like unleashed it on the world.
He's like, everybody's gonna be talking about this.
Right? And it's like a knowing smile.
Cougar fans can relate to this smile.
That's what we said. We tweeted a gif of it, and he is all of us. So the Saints won that 31-21. Shout out to Taysom, and we hope to see a lot more of him.
Yeah, there's some talk there about how he's like poised to take over for Drew Brees whenever he retires.
Yeah, gosh, they just went on and on about him on the broadcast.
Yeah. Other Cougars in the NFL, so Kai Nakua here, he registered his first NFL tackle in their game. So that was, who did they play?
They played the Chargers. So the Browns played Michael Davis's team. And Michael Davis also had a solo tackle in that game. That was not Michael Davis's first tackle, but cool for both of them to see playing time and get a tackle, against each other.
It's fun to see them play against each other.
Yeah.
And then we have this tweet from Nick Howell of Kai and Michael switching jerseys. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
To see them both out there.
I thought that was funny. Tom Homo, someone posted a picture of their timeline, and Tom Homo had tweeted that exact same picture a couple minutes before, so I don't know if Nick Howell stole it from Tom or if Tom stole it from, I don't know.
Where did it come from?
I don't think they went to the game together, but anyway,
probably not.
Like to see that picture. So that was Chargers won 19-10. And then, of course, our guys that have been in the NFL for a little while, our vets, if you will.
Yep, so Kyle Van Noy had 3 tackles, 1 solo, in the Patriots' 23-3 win over the Buffalo Bills. And then Ziggy, of course, still playing. He had 5 solo tackles, 1 pass deflection. Unfortunately, the Lions lost to the Ravens 44-20, but
5 solo tackles.
Still a star out there.
Yeah, good work. So that is what's going on with our former Cougars. We will try to keep you updated on that from time to time. But after those games that Taysom and Jamaal had, we just had to have keeping up the Cougars. So okay, time for Talk of the Town. We're going to start with some basketball news. Well, not news. It's news to us. It's noteworthy to us. Talk of the Town. You know the drill. This comes from Professor Cougar Duck, who is at Aerobic Gym. He said, Luke Worthington will forever be one of my favorite BYU players. After a gutting loss to Oregon, he was in the tournament. He's talking about he was the only BYU player to take a moment and give my girls a high five before going up to the tunnel. We loved seeing this about Luke, and we also wanted an excuse to talk about Luke because he was on the Rose Show last week, and it was amazing.
Okay, my favorite thing that Luke said during the Rose Show was how he talked about how one of the things he really wanted to do when he got back from his mission and got into this was to really get to know everybody on the team. That he really made an effort to get to know everybody, and after he's saying that, I'm like, no wonder they voted him captain, because he cares about all of them.
He showed interest in them?
Yeah.
Totally.
And you can tell he does. Like, he's always encouraging everybody. If he's on the bench, if he's in the game or whatever, he's very positive. And he's really fun, too. I mean, I'm sure that's another reason that they love being around him, because he's just a funny guy.
Totally. And that means something, I think, on the court and for chemistry. My favorite part, personally, was the package that they showed of the other players talking about how they all call Luke Mr. Steal Your Girl.
So funny. Yoli was like, Yoli was the funniest. I'm going to call it a talent. So funny.
Because he said that girls just stare at Luke, which Jess and I will mostly plead the fifth on, but we will say that we can't blame any girls who stare at him.
No. Yeah. Totally true.
So there's our Luke Worthington appreciation segment for the day. Guy. Hopefully that's a recurring thing.
I need more bow ties though.
And Luke. Glasses. He did say the glasses were real. He was very funny. If you missed the Rose Show, go back and watch it, and then watch it again this week. It's on today. That'll be tonight at 6 p.m. And it's TJ? Mm-hmm. Great.
This is funny. So Peyton Dastrup was playing hockey in Brigham Square on campus. Probably for some kind of student promotional. Who knows? So there's a video of it, and someone tweeted out, Chris Udall tweeted out, Peyton Dastrup can play hockey.
Because he, nailed it. He got a goal, didn't he?
Yeah. So his dad, David Dastrup, said that Peyton has more hockey blood in him than most people realized, and then he tweeted out a picture of Peyton when he was little.
It's the best, with his hockey gear.
So if I'm remembering right, when we talked to Peyton's dad, to David.
He did tell us that.
Yeah, so don't hate me. I can't remember where it was. I want to say it was Wisconsin or Michigan or somewhere.
Yeah. Midwest.
That he lived, and he played hockey, and that's where Peyton got it from.
Yes. Good memory. So, but it's nice to see the photo evidence of that. Just adorable.
We love getting kid pictures of players. It's super fun.
Absolutely. Speaking of Peyton, he was one of 3 of the basketball team members involved in quite a debacle in Brooklyn. And this happened a couple weeks ago, and I remember they were all Instagram and Facebook living, and I remember I was at Thanksgiving dinner at my family's house, and I'm like, why did Elijah Bryant just go live on Instagram? And I turn it on, and they're all stuck in an elevator.
Yeah, not a fun place to be.
No, and that made it to the vlog. Just hilarious. These 3 big athletes stuck in an elevator. Elijah makes some jokes about the weight limit. They all share their weight, and you see the firefighters come through the rafters of the elevator and lower down a ladder so they can climb up. Elijah's got his boot on because he was still having foot problems.
Oh my goodness.
It's hilarious. You have to watch the vlog. They have a cooler in there with water and Diet Coke. They're like, this is all you need. They're all on their phone. It's just
at least they had connection.
Funny. And the firefighters were so annoyed that Elijah was vlogging. He was filming them. We're very glad they got rescued.
Tim Lacone tweeted out, great having a few of the players over tonight for dinner. Blessed to work with great people. So this is fun. It's Evan, Elijah, it looks like McKay in the background, Yoli. And they're making gingerbread houses and gingerbread cookies and all gathered around the little island in the kitchen. So
like, how cute.
I know, it's nice to be taken care of for sure. Bonding with their coach.
You know our favorite word, chemistry. Mm-hmm. Okay, we wanted to talk about the royal jerseys, royal uniforms that BYU wore at Utah State because they were amazing.
They looked so good. The colors, the royal blue and that white just really popped and looked good.
It did. It looked great on TV. And we did see another tweet saying that Coach Rose said post-game that they have other royal blue alternates. So we're very excited to see those. Yeah. Do you think, for home games, I'm thinking maybe the Utah game might be when we whip those out, but I don't know. So don't quote me on that.
I imagine it usually is. That is the biggest game.
Look good, play good. I'm all about it.
This is really funny, too. So Brandon Richards tweeted this out at 4JBritch. He says, today in dental school at UW, my buddy who played basketball at Gonzaga gave a presentation. His last slide had the Gonzaga logo on it, and he ended his presentation by saying, "Go Zags." I was the very next presentation. I quickly added this as my last slide. And it's pictures from BYU's wins at Gonzaga with the hashtag Senior Nights, plural, because we've won multiple times up there. It's so good.
We're gonna knock on wood for the karma he just incited with that. But I like that. You know, some school place rivalry going on there.
Some quick thinking, quick work to get.
We
that
like
in
that.
there.
Okay, and we did want to end with a little bit of football news. We're, of course, very excited for our couple seniors. Fred Warner, who got invited to the Senior Bowl because, if they wouldn't have invited him, that would have been
a travesty.
Right. So good job not committing a travesty.
Our other favorite, Jonah, was invited to the NFL PA Bowl.
So that is talk of the town. What we have next, we already talked about our basketball games. We've got Illinois State. That one is on Wednesday, 7 p.m., so tomorrow. That's on BYU TV or at the Marriott Center if you can make it. And, of course, always wear white.
And this is a big game. I feel like it's not getting the attention that it deserves.
It's not.
Because Illinois State's a good team. They barely were left out of the tournament last year.
Yeah.
They had some big wins last year.
Potential for a resume win.
Yeah, so you definitely want to win this one. So show up, especially you students.
Be loud.
And then the Beehive Classic is this Saturday. So BYU is playing Weber State at the Vivint Smart Home Arena, and that's at 8 p.m. It'll be on BYU TV. But there's a bunch of in-state games during that Beehive Classic.
It's the first ever Beehive Classic where, all the in-state game teams will be playing all throughout the day. I think a ticket to that gets you into all of the games. Mm-hmm. So go, enjoy. Should be a fun atmosphere. And that is McKay Cannon's old team. So I already saw some of his teammates tweeting about meeting up with him.
How have we not mentioned McKay Cannon this episode?
Oh, he's coming. And then after Weber State, we have a week off, and then Utah is in town. So
I love having that extra day to get ready for Utah. Actually, extra few days because you don't have to get ready for another game. This week we are brought to you by Mark Durant, who, as he does sometimes, correctly guessed the score of the BYU-Utah State game. Every once in a while, he nails it, and he did it again. So congrats, Mark.
Yeah, that was awesome. And our second sponsor is, of course, it has to be McKay Cannon. He became eligible literally a week ago. I don't think most people knew that he was on the team. And now he has become everyone's basketball crush, everyone's basketball hero. He has just come off the bench with I know Jess has tweeted after both his games his stats because they're just jaw-dropping.
17 points off the bench for Utah State, 8 of 8 from the line. Mm-hmm. I think 3 rebounds, 2 assists. The trash talking, can we talk about the trash talking? Because it is my favorite thing.
It is my favorite thing, too. He is not
scared.
No, he's very, very lovable. So, yes, he is, of course, our second sponsor. We look forward to seeing what he can continue to do. May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We'll see you next week.